Hi everybody, it's Kathy here from Kathy Loves a Scrap, and I'm coming to you today from Down Under. It has been a very chilly day. We're doing Series 15 of Christy's Beautiful Life, 30 Days of Sketches, and it's day 9. And this one, by Stella Harris, is this is my take on it. And you'll see it in this form here and at the end, but throughout the working of it, I'll be working on the single page. I like how it turned out. I love my Tassie that I cut from my Cricut, and it just brought it all together. I know it's a completely different look from what Stella has in her sketch, but the final product is well worth it. So I have all these photos from the monster trucks that we had at the Luddenham Easter Fair this year, and I've gone through my Kaisercraft old stock and I'm using this factory stuff, and I've also got all these chipboard cogs that I'm going to use on this layout. I have gone ahead on my Cricut and I cut out some monster trucks in small and large, and I've done my title, and I do have 2 Tassies, but I only actually use one on this layout. So I'm going to put everything to the side and put it safe away so I don't lose bits and pieces because of the cutting out. They are in pieces. And I'm going to use 2 brown cardstocks for my base. I did pull out this sticker sheet here, but I actually don't use it, even though I thought I would. I've got this cardstock, this Kaisercraft paper. It is the Factory 42 collection, and so is this one here. I actually ended up going back and getting a second sheet of the first cogs one because I need it to do the layout. And then I have all my photos which I have pulled from that event, which was pretty good at $2 entry. Getting to see monster trucks for $2, pretty well worth it. I'm going to start by preparing the base, as I always do, by cutting out the 1 inches and keeping the innards because I'm going to use those for my photo framing. I went off site and I prepared all of my die cuts, and I have also prepared my mats and my base for you. Now, I am not using film strips down the sides of my photos like on the sketch, but I decided that I would use like tire tracks. These are die cuts that I have, and I thought they tied in nicely with the theme of the monster truck. So I'm putting the mud tire tracks in behind my photos instead of the photo frames. And I have gone with this heading, Monster Mayhem, so that it mimics the blue in the photos. And that's how I get my layouts to match, is I look at my photos and I use my colours to guide me. So these 4 down here are 2x2s. I cut my photos down to the 2x2s, and I am putting a little photo frame around these ones just to pay homage to the details of the sketch that Stella created, and it adds that little bit of element of interest, like they were captured moments, which they actually were. I was pretty impressed with being able to capture them and in action. So that's the left hand side, and now I'm going to work on the right hand side. Once again, those tire track die cuts I'm using to go under the photos as my framing instead of a film strip, which I think ties in better with the theme of the page. You'll notice that I used a border punch along the edge of the panels so that they join, and they've got the scallop dots, so it all ties in with that cogs feel, the road feel of the trucks. So I'm putting down the photos, and I double matted that one because it was a feature, and the monster truck was actually called Tassie Devil, and hence my Tassie Devil, which I'm going to use in my cluster. So I've done a monster truck one. I've done these 2 little monster trucks which I knew were going to go into that panel there, and I'm going to continue on with this structure of the die cut with the tire tracks to build and link it all together. I'm just going through this ephemera pack here from the Factory 42 from Kaisercraft, and I am pulling out the cogs and the bits and pieces that I want to use on this layout. So you can see that I have got a few there and they all tie. So before I build all my clusters, I've decided I wanted to add in some paint splatters, and this is always a tricky business of when to put it onto the layout. Probably should have done it before I laid down my photos, and that's why I've had to cover it up with cardstock here so that it's not going onto my photos. And this also creates a problem in that I don't wait for it to dry, and therefore it does smudge a little, but not too much, and it just looks like mud splatters in the background. I'm, as I said, using the tire tracks here to build in that continuation of the theme and to build the clusters into the layout. I have that tree there because in all of the photos there is the gum tree in the background, and I like that gum tree. I actually lined up my photos so that it was pretty much central in a lot of them, and so I've tied that together with this die cut. This Tassie, I went on to Google Images for free Google Images and found this Tassie, which I turned into an SVG, and I uploaded it to Design Space and then was able to cut him, and I actually think he's quite cute. I have used some spray to colour my chipboard cogs there so that they tie in with the colours of the layout. Now this little quote says, "We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing." And I truly believe that, and that's probably why everyone thinks I'm so much younger than I actually am, because I still get out and have a lot of fun. And I do have followers who say they can't believe how much fun I have with my family, but they keep me young, and my job as a teacher keeps me young, so I like that I get to play and have fun. I've also put in the tag there that says be yourself, because can't be anybody else, you have to be yourself, and you need to keep it real, and that's true, you do need to keep it real. But I just want to say, you need to scrap yourself. It's really important. You don't realise how important it is to have photos of yourself until you lose someone when you don't have photos, and that's a tragedy. And if you've got children and you've got a family, you're important too, so don't forget to include yourself in your photos. It's very, very important. I have got this monster truck here, and I'm just putting in the wheelbases. They were part of the die cutting when I cut it out of the machine. I also used these arrows from out of those mud track dies just to add an extra feature to make you look at the photos. It's really important that your photos stay your focus. I didn't mount the photos because I didn't want them to overtake and look silly. They just fit on that page quite nicely, and the colours are all reflected through my paper choices and my embellishment choices. So I'm pretty happy with how it's come together. I do work in a small space. The size of my A3 sheet is where I work, so I will take stills and have them at the end so you can see the full double layout. I don't often do a double layout, but I really do like how this one turned out. I am just putting in the date using a date stamper. It was the 31st of March this year, and that was really a great afternoon spent with the family once again, out having fun, doing something a little bit different, but memories that are now being scrapped. So I don't need to put any journaling because this is going in with all the other pages that reflect this event, so there's enough journaling across the pages so anyone who looks will know. And I'm pretty pleased with how this has come together. I've got my cogs in, I've got my tyre tracks, I've got my monster truck elements in there. I followed the clusters pretty much to the sketch, keeping the photos in the same alignment as the sketch, and I'm actually quite pleased with how this all came together. So you can see that building your clusters don't have to be what is on the sketch. They're just a guide. You can interpret it to your theme. You can be honest to the sketch, but you can also be honest to your photos. And that's what I've done here. I've put this monster truck theme throughout it. I've used my embellishments wisely and chosen things that would complement my photos. So if you like what you're seeing here, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I'm hoping that something inspired you. Here's the double so you can see it all together. I took it outside and took the photo in the sun so you can see the real colours. This is the left hand side of the page, and I really do love Tassie there. And this is the right hand side of the page, and you can see Tassie in the truck there. And all of these clusters come together and complement the page. Don't be afraid to cover up your photos. They're part of the story as well, and the embellishments are just there to add that extra layer of interest and tell that story for future generations. So here it is once again. If you want to copy something, take a screenshot from this and scrap away. I'm Kathy here from Kathy Loves to Scrap. I'm scrapping with you from down under. Please give me a like. It lets YouTube know that you want to see more of my stuff. If you haven't already subscribed, please do it. It costs you nothing. And if you leave me a comment, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Remember, I'm Kathy from Kathy Loves to Scrap. Follow me on all my socials under that tag. Instagram is where you'll find all my layouts, even those without video. And once again, thank you for sticking it out and watching. Happy scrapping. Until next time.